The rain fell quietly outside the window. It tapped gently on the glass, like fingers trying to wake someone from a dream. Inside a small, dark apartment, a man sat on the floor, breathing hard. His face was pale, his hands were shaking, and sweat rolled down his neck. His name was Dr. Aaron Vell, a scientist once known for building artificial worlds. But now he was known for nothing. Forgotten. Alone. He had just woken from another dream. Dream of her. He could still hear her voice. Soft, laughing, full of light. He could still see her smile, her eyes, her name. Lyra. But when he searched her name online, nothing. No birth record. No death record. No ID. No news. No face match. No data. Nothing. It was like she never existed. But he remembered everything. Her. Hand in his. Their walks. The way she used to say his name. Aaron. She had whispered once, holding his face, "Don't ever forget me." And he hadn't. That morning, he sat in front of his dusty computer. His apartment was full of old tech, broken wires, dead screens, and empty coffee mugs. He opened a folder named Project Lyra. Inside were thousands of files, video clips, notes, AI logs, emotion tests, dream logs, voice memos. He clicked on one. It was an old audio file. Memory log, day 62. I saw her again, in the dream. She stood near the ocean, said my name. She was crying. I reached for her. Then woke up. I'm losing my mind. Or maybe I'm remembering something they erased. He stared at the screen. He had said they erased her. But who were they? And why would anyone erase someone like Lyra? Years ago, Aaron had worked on simulation technology, advanced virtual environments, used by governments and corporations to test new realities. He had helped design a program called Echo Field, a place where memory and reality could mix. It could simulate people, thoughts, even dreams, and Lyra had worked with him. He remembered that now, but no one else did. He called an old colleague, Dr. Kayan Solis. The screen blinked. Kayan looked tired and older than Aaron remembered. Aaron? Haven't seen you in years. Thought you left the planet. I need to ask you something, Aaron said. Shoot. Do you remember Lyra? She worked with us on Echo Field. Ken's face went blank, then confused. Lyra? No, I don't think so. Was she a coder? Aaron's voice dropped. She was more than that. Kayan shook his head. Sorry, man. Doesn't ring a bell. Then he smiled awkwardly. You okay? You look rough. Aaron ended the call without answering. He needed proof. He dug through old hard drives. He pulled out boxes from storage. Years of data, backup files, crash logs. Most of them were corrupted. But then he found it. A drive labeled, Do Not Open. 2142, Lyra. It was dusty and old. He plugged it in carefully. The screen went black for a second. Then, memory corruption detected. File, LIR_core_V3.92. He clicked, Recover. The screen flickered. A loading bar appeared. It moved slowly. Then suddenly, a face appeared. Her face, pixelated, glitched, but real. And her voice. Aaron, I'm sorry. I had to hide. If you're seeing this, they found me. The message stopped. His heart froze. She had left a message. For him, he replayed it. But the file crashed. She was trying to tell him something. That she was in danger. That someone had found her. But who? And why? That night, Aaron couldn't sleep. He walked through the city, under neon lights, past sleeping drones and empty streets. The world had changed. More AI, fewer people. Everyone lived online now, but he didn't care about the world anymore. Only her. He whispered to himself as he walked. You're real. I know you are. Then, he had an idea. He returned home and powered up his old simulation rig. A high-powered neural machine he had helped design. It could read thoughts, dreams, emotions, He connected the Lyra_core file to the system and set it to search for missing memory fragments. The screen glowed blue, then a message appeared, searching parallel emotional traces. Fragment found. The machine began generating an environment. A beach, blue, ocean. White sand, the same place from his dream. He walked into the simulation, using a neural link. The wind blew softly. The sun was low. And there, standing near the water, was Lyra. Her back was turned. He walked closer. Lyra? She turned. It was her. But her eyes, they were empty. Like she didn't see him. Do you remember me? He asked. She didn't answer. He reached out his hand. She looked down. Then whispered, "Not yet," and vanished. Aaron came out of the simulation gasping. That wasn't just a dream. That was her. A real memory. But it was locked. He needed more fragments. He needed to rebuild her. But not as a ghost in a dream. He needed to find her. The next day, Aaron went to an abandoned government server hub, an old data tower outside the city. He broke in through a side door using an old passcode. Inside were miles of silent machines, still connected to the deep web. He searched for old project files, especially anything related to Echo, Field, and Lyra. Most were deleted, but one folder remained, hidden under layers of code. Architect files greater than Lyra, greater than event. 7XR. He clicked it. Video played. It showed Lyra in a lab. She was shouting at someone, at him. "You can't control life, Aaron. This isn't a game. If you go through with this, you'll lose me." He looked different, cold, distant. She tried to shut down the program. Then the video glitched. The lab exploded in light. End of file. Aaron stared at the screen. He didn't remember any of that. Did he erase his own memory? Did he do something terrible? He walked outside under the gray sky. He felt sick, but one thing was clear now. She didn't disappear. She was taken or hidden, maybe, but by him, maybe by someone else. Either way, she was trapped in a memory, a code, a simulation. And only he could find her. That night, he created a new folder. Project Universe_Lyra_01. He wrote in the log, "This is not just a simulation. I'm building a universe from memory, emotion, and code. Somewhere in this system, she exists. And I will find her." The screen went dark. Then lit up again. A soft voice echoed from the old speaker, a whisper, her whisper. "Aaron, I'm still here." He smiled for the first time in years. And began to build. Last time, Dr. Aaron Vell discovered a corrupted file, hidden deep inside old systems. A woman named Lyra, someone no one else remembered, spoke to him through broken code. Her voice, her face, her message. "If you're seeing this, they found me." Aaron believed she was real. And now he was building a universe to find her. Rain hit the metal roof of Aaron's apartment like ticking clocks. He didn't sleep. He barely breathed. His eyes were locked on the screen in front of him. Lines of code flowed like rivers. Red, blue, green. The start of something bigger than anything he had ever built. A universe. Not just a simulation. Something deeper. One that could rebuild lost emotions, broken memories, even hidden souls. He named it Lyra_01. It would not just search data, it would search everything: time, space, dream patterns, memory echoes, and emotional resonance. But to start, he needed help. Not from people, from machines. Aaron opened a rusted panel behind his desk. Inside was a cube, silent, black, dusty. An old AI core. A banned one. He had stolen it from a project called Oracle 13. Years ago. It was designed to explore parallel decision branches, versions of reality that never happened. Or hadn't happened yet. He plugged it in. The lights dimmed. His screens flickered. A low hum filled the room. System voice. Core link established. Identity mismatch detected. Query source unknown. Aaron typed quickly. User input, search emotional trace, Lyra. Input year range, 213-82143. Filter, AI suppression events. The system paused. The room got cold. Then. AI voice. Warning, emotional trace found. Fragment unstable. Echo trapped in recursive loop. Aaron's heart pounded. He typed. Open loop. Play echo. The screen flashed. Then, a voice, hers. I'm here. But not for long. They're watching you too, Aaron. If you dig too deep, they'll shut you down. Then static. Her voice vanished. Aaron sat back. Stunned. She knew this would happen. She had left a trail, but someone had tried to bury it. Hours passed. Aaron connected more systems, dream recorders, emotion sensors, quantum decoders, old surveillance data. He typed and searched, deeper and deeper. And then, something strange happened. The lights went off. The system crashed. His backup power kicked. In dim, flickering red. Then something appeared on the screen, a message. No name. No source. You should not be looking for her. Then another. She was locked away for a reason. Then another. Turn off your machine. Or we will. Aaron stared at the words. Someone. New. Someone real. This wasn't a broken system. This was a warning. He looked around his dark apartment. Was someone inside? He grabbed a flashlight and checked every room. Empty. But on the kitchen wall, scratched. With something sharp were 3 words. Stop digging, architect. His hands shook. Architect. That was what the creature had called him in the simulation. The one from the end of Lyra_core. He wasn't just a builder now. He was a target. But Aaron didn't stop. He couldn't. He connected the AI core to the simulation. He spoke softly. Run universe scan. Search, nonlinear memory footprints. Priority, Lyra. The system hesitated. Then a blue light pulsed. The AI responded. Fragment found. Echoes detected in Sandbox 42. A new environment began to load. Not a beach. Not a lab. A city. Old. Broken. Dark alleys. Flickering streetlights. Rain. The simulation loaded fully. Aaron put on the neural link and stepped inside. The city felt wrong. The walls whispered. The rain fell upward. Time moved strange. He walked slowly down a narrow alley. Then he heard it. Music. Soft. A piano playing somewhere in the dark. He followed the sound. Around a corner, under a broken neon sign, was an old cafe. Inside sat a figure. He entered. Music stopped. The figure turned. It was Lyra. She looked older. Different, but it was her. She stared at him, calm and silent, then said, "Why did you build this, Aaron?" He stepped forward. "Because I need to find you." She shook her head. "You already found me, years ago, and then you lost me." He blinked. "What do you mean?" She stood slowly. "This isn't your first time here." The walls began to shake. The floor cracked. Reality, glitched. Lyra stepped back into shadow and whispered, "You forgot me because you chose to." Then she vanished again. Aaron was thrown out of the simulation. The neural link overheated and burned out. The air smelled of smoke. He was shaking. Not from fear. From doubt. What if this wasn't some hidden truth? What if he was the one who erased her? He checked the LI log. It had recorded everything. He played the clip again, the cafe, her words, then paused. Something was off. In the background of the simulation, on a wall behind her, was a number, 7XR. He had seen that before, in the government files from Part 1. Architect files greater than Lyra, greater than event. 7X Ruthet wasn't just a memory. That was the incident. The one where everything had gone wrong. The one he couldn't remember. Now he had a location. A time. He had to go deeper. He expanded the simulation to a second layer. A hidden space behind memory. It took all night to load. When it finally opened, he saw a lab, his old lab, frozen in time. And Lyra was there, arguing with him again. This time, he could see both versions of himself, the one from the past, and the one watching now. He watched himself push a button. The machine behind. Lyra lit up. Then, a surge of light. Lyra screamed. Everything exploded into static. Back in them. Real world. Aaron gasped. That's what happened. The experiment. It tore her apart. Not physically. Digitally. Emotionally. COGNITIVELY. Her mind had been shattered across code. Fragments of her spread through every echo. She didn't disappear. She was trapped. And maybe. It was his fault. The core began to spark. A warning appeared. System overload. Too many emotional signals detected. Fragment merge. IMCO Munji. He tried to shut it down. Too late. The screen turned white, and a new voice spoke. Not Lyra, not Aaron, something else, something older. You have opened the door. You are not the only one searching. Others are watching. Others want her too. Aaron shouted, "Who are you?" No answer, just laughter. Then the voice said, "The architect built a cage. Now he must enter it." Then, silence. And collapsed to the floor. His hands trembled. He didn't just need to find her now. He had to save her, from himself, from whatever else was hunting her. And to do that, he had to finish what he started. A universe wasn't enough. He needed to build a new reality. Where truth couldn't hide. Where memory couldn't die. He opened a new folder. Project Lyra_02 Memory Fusion Protidosio. He wrote, "She is alive, but scattered. I will gather the pieces, one at a time, until she remembers everything. Until I do too." Outside, the city thundered. In his mind, her voice whispered again, "Don't stop now." Prevously. Dr. Aaron Vell had entered a simulation of his own creation, searching for the woman he once loved, Lyra, whose memory was erased from every known record. Piece by piece, he uncovered fragments of her mind trapped and corrupted. Digital echoes. But as he got closer, the system began to break down. And something else, something dangerous, began watching. The apartment felt colder now. Aaron sat with bloodshot eyes, surrounded by empty food wrappers and humming machines. The screen in front of him glowed with a new word. Lyra_02, ONLINE. He had done it. He had built the framework, a fusion system strong enough to hold her memory fragments without breaking. But something still haunted him, the voice. That laughter, that thing that spoke when the system crashed. It wasn't just a virus. It felt alive, like something had been locked in the code for a long time. And now, it was free. Aaron shook the thought away. He focused on the task. He had a blueprint, a map of memory fragments, spread like stars across different digital layers. The next one was marked, Fragment 3, the Glasshouse Emotional Anchor. TRUST status, unstable probability of Lyra. Echo, 92.4%. He launched the simulation. The neural link hummed. Aaron closed his eyes and stepped in. He appeared in a glass house floating in endless black space. Stars shimmered above and below. There was no floor, no walls, just transparent panels. Inside the house were books, paintings, old clothes, a violin on the table, and a mirror at the far end. In it, he saw Lyra, not standing behind him, but trapped inside the glass. She looked calm, sad. Her hands rested gently on the glass surface, like she was waiting. He walked closer. "Lyra," he whispered. She looked up, eyes wide. "Aaron," she said. "You're getting closer." He stepped forward. "I'm here to bring you back." She shook her head. "You can't, not yet." "Why not?" "Because you still don't trust yourself." Suddenly, the house shattered. The glass exploded. He fell backward into darkness. He woke up. Back in the real world. Drenched in sweat, the AI flashed a message. Trust fail detected. Fragment rejected. He punched the desk. What does that mean? The AI replied, memory anchor unstable. Your emotional signature disrupted the link. In simple terms, Lyra wouldn't come back unless he faced something he was avoiding, something he had buried. Aaron opened his personal log. A folder called Confession. Locked. He had sealed it years ago. With a code only he would know. He typed LIRA1205 it. Unlocked. Inside was a video, a recording of his own face. He pressed play. If you're watching this, it means you found her. Or you're trying to, but you need to know the truth. You didn't just lose Lyra, you destroyed her. Aaron watched, horrified. You were building the original system, Echo Field, to test emotional memory. But when she wanted to shut it down, you kept going. You forced her to stay inside during the collapse. She got trapped. Her mind got scattered. Because of you, you chose your work over her. And now, you can't forgive yourself. The video ended. He dropped his head into his hands. He had done it. He had buried the truth. He was the reason she was broken. Later that night, he restarted the simulation. The glass house loaded again. Lyra stood inside the mirror, her eyes cautious, but Aaron said softly, "You were right. I didn't trust myself. Because I destroyed the one thing I loved." He paused. "But I'm not here to fix you. I'm here to fix me. And bring you home." She reached her hand toward the glass. It cracked, then broke. She stepped through. Not fully, only part of her form, but her eyes were full of light. And this time, she smiled. The system beeped. Fragment 3 fused successfully. Memory anchor. Trust restored. Aaron fell back in his chair, exhausted, but smiling. He had recovered. A part of her. And a part of himself. The AI spoke again. Its voice sounded strange. Different. Like two voices now. One human, one cold. Warning, observer detected. Aaron blinked. What observer? The AI screen glitche. A new message appeared. She belongs to you. Know them and do not bring her back. Aaron felt it again. That presence, watching him, studying him. Lyra was not just trapped in his broken memory. She was being guarded. Possibly used. Someone or something didn't want her to return. Because she knew something important. Maybe the truth about Echo Field. Maybe about a larger system hidden beneath reality. He sat up, pulled out a storage drive, copied all files into it. Then encrypted it. He whispered, "If I disappear, someone has to know." Then he wrote one sentence on the file label. She's not just memory, she's the key. Suddenly, the power went out. All machines shut down. Total silence. Then, a low hum, not from inside the apartment, from outside. He ran to the window. A black drone hovered in the sky. No lights. No ID number. Just a red dot on the front, staring at him. It scanned the building, then flew away into the dark clouds. Whispered, "They know. The people who built the original system, the ones who erased Lyra, they were still watching, and they had let him go this far on purpose. But why?" He sat in front of the dead screen and made a promise to himself. "I will finish this, even if it kills me. Even if she never forgives me." He turned the power back on. And loaded the next fragment. Fragment 4, The Red Garden. Emotional anchor, hope status. Unknown. He smiled weakly. Lyra had always loved flowers. Previously. Dr. Aaron Vell successfully retrieved another piece of Lyra's broken memory. A fragment tied to trust. But with each step closer, someone, or something, watches him. He now knows the truth. He caused Lyra's mind to shatter. Years ago, in the early experiments of Echo Field. But what she knows, what they erased, may be more dangerous than he ever imagined. Now he prepares to recover the next memory. Fragment 4, the Red Garden Anchor, Hope Status, Unknown. It had been raining for 3 days. Not real rain. Just the broken sprinklers on the rooftop above Aaron's lab, dripping like a heartbeat. He hadn't left his workspace since the drone appeared. He knew eyes were on him. So he worked silently. Every sound, every flicker on the screen made him jump. But when the Lyra system beeped and loaded Fragment 4, something inside him felt calm. Hope, he whispered. Maybe the most fragile part of Lyra, and the one he feared he had destroyed the most. The simulation opened. Aaron stepped into it. What he saw stole his breath. A field of red flowers. Endless. Bright red petals. Dark green stems. A soft wind. A sky too perfect to be real. Pink and gold. In the center of the field stood a single white tree, with silver leaves that shimmered like stars. Aaron walked slowly through the garden. He bent down and touched a flower. It was warm. Not data. Not code. Something living. This was no ordinary simulation. This was hers. A place Lyra had made, a memory that hadn't come from code or science. This was hope, grown by her own will. As he neared the tree, he saw something at its base. A piano. Old. Wooden. Untouched for years. Lyra had played one just like it when they first met. He touched a key. It made a soft sound. Suddenly, a figure appeared behind the tree. Lyra. But not like before. This version of her wore a white dress, glowing slightly. Her eyes were peaceful. No fear, no pain. She smiled. You found the garden. Aaron stepped closer. You made this? She nodded. A long time ago. Before I forgot. Forgot? What? Everything that made me feel human. Aaron sat beside her on the piano bench. You planted all of this? He asked. She looked across the red field. No, not at first. It started with one flower. I imagined it, and it stayed. Then another, then more. He listened carefully. This place, she continued, was the only thing they couldn't erase. Because they didn't believe hope could survive digital decay. But it did. She looked at him now. You kept me alive, Aaron, even when you forgot me. He swallowed. I destroyed you. She shook her head. No, you tried to save me. The system failed. You didn't. I buried the truth. You weren't ready to carry it yet. He stood, overwhelmed. Lyra, what are they trying to hide? Why did they erase you? Her face grew serious. Because I saw what they were building inside Echo Field. What was it? They weren't just mapping memory. They were rewriting it, turning pain into programming, turning people into products. She paused. They used me as the first test subject. Aaron's eyes widened. They didn't just erase you, they used you. Yes. The sky above the garden darkened suddenly. A deep, rumbling sound filled the air. She looked up, alarmed. They found U.S. Aaron turned. Black clouds swirled above. A shape appeared. Not human, a shadow with too many limbs. Its body shifted like smoke. It spoke without a mouth. Return the fragment. This one is not yours. Aaron stepped in front of Lyra. No. The entity glided forward. You were warned. Lyra grabbed Aaron's hand. You have to go. I'll distract it. No. She smiled. This is what hope is for. She kissed his cheek. Then pushed him away, hard. The garden shattered. The flowers turned into glowing particles. The last thing he saw was her face. Smiling, Aaron woke up gasping. The neural link fried again. Smoke rose from the cable. He sat in silence. On the screen, Fragment 4 partially fused anchor. Hope recovered warning. Hostile echo detected. Trace enabled. He realized something terrifying. The enemy inside the code wasn't just watching him. It was following him. And it was getting stronger. Up and walked to the storage drive. Plugged it into a secure port. Encrypted again. Then he picked up his recorder. He spoke. Fragment 4 recovered. The red garden is real. Hope is real. Lyra is aware. She knows what they did to her. They're coming. They won't let me finish. But I will. He stopped. Then added, if I disappear and you find this, save her. Don't save me. Suddenly, a new beep. Not from the Lyra system, from the drone scanner. Motion detected. He ran to the window. 2 more black drones hovered silently across the sky. They weren't attacking, just waiting. Watching. He whispered, you want her? You'll have to go through me. He walked back inside, opened the next file. Fragment 5. The Room of Regret. Emotional anchor. GUILT status. Highly unstable. He hesitated. Then whispered, let's finish this. Previously, Aaron Vell found hope inside Lyra's personal memory garden, a secret space she created to protect herself from total erasure. But now he knows the system that took her isn't just digital. It's alive and it's hunting him. Every step closer brings more danger. Yet he pushes forward into the next memory. Fragment 5. The Room of Regret. Anchor. Guilt status. Highly unstable. Lab was too quiet. Even the machines seemed to hold their breath. Aaron sat alone in the dark, watching the loading bar on the Lyra system crawl forward. This fragment was the hardest, not because of code, because of what it meant. He would face the truth. All of it. The moment he lost Lyra forever, the room blinked red. Warning, emotional echo may overwhelm subject. Proceed? He took a breath. Proceed. The link connected. The simulation began. Darkness. Then a door, a small wooden door floating in nothingness. Aaron stepped through it. Inside was a room, 4 walls, a window with no view, a bed, a chair, a screen on the wall. Frozen. This was no memory of Lyra. This was his. He knew this place. It was the isolation chamber in the Echo Field Test Facility. Where he had locked himself for 72 hours. After the first meltdown. The day she vanished. He sat on the bed. Suddenly, the screen on the wall blinked. A video started to play. Security footage. It showed Lyra in the main chamber. Pacing. Talking to herself. No. Aaron, we shut it down. This is too much. We're crossing lines. Then his voice echoed back. No, we're on the edge of something big. One more test. She stopped. I won't go back in. I'm not your lab rat. I don't need you to go back, he said coldly. I already loaded your neural print. You're already inside. Her eyes widened. You did what? Then the screen glitched and cut to black. Aaron stood up. His heart raced. This isn't real, he told himself. But the room began to shift. The walls bled static. The floor cracked like ice, and a voice echoed behind him. How many times will you bury the truth? He turned. Lyra stood there. But she was wrong. Her eyes were completely black. Her body flickered. A twisted version of her, a corrupted echo. She stepped closer. You didn't lose me. You used me. No, he whispered. You loved your work more than me. You knew the system wasn't stable, and you uploaded me anyway. Aaron backed away. I thought I could bring you back. You wanted to control memory. But I wasn't a memory, I was a person. Her voice cracked, sad, angry. You didn't just erase me. You rewrote me. The room shook violently. The bed caught fire. The window turned into a giant eye, watching him. Then her voice turned deeper. Not Lyra's voice. Something else was speaking through her. You are the true failure, Aaron Vell. You built a universe to find what you destroyed. But this world belongs to us now. Suddenly, the corrupted Lyra lunged at him. He screamed. The world shattered. He woke up, choking, his face soaked in tears. The neural port smoked again, but the system beeped softly. Fragment 5 fused anchor. GUILTCONFIR. He looked at the screen. His hands were shaking. On his desk, the system had auto-printed something. It was a sentence. Not from the AI handwritten font. Words Lyra had once spoken. Real love doesn't come from memory, it comes from choice. Aaron stared at it for a long time, then whispered, "I choose you, Lyra." He plugged in the storage drive. Updated the backup. Every fused fragment was now forming a complete model of her consciousness. But something wasn't right. When he opened the file index, one folder had been added automatically. He hadn't created it. It was titled Doorway. Inside was only one file, Fragment 0, Origin Unknown, Access Level, blocked by external entity. External? That meant something outside his system had injected it. And the file's signature? It wasn't his dot, it wasn't Lyra's dot, it matched something he saw before. The Observer. He pulled out his notebook and sketched what he remembered from the corrupted version of Lyra. Black eyes, glitching limbs, a voice like ice. She wasn't real, she was a mask, something using Lyra's shape to slow him down. To trap him in guilt, because it knew the more guilt he carried, the weaker his signal became. It was feeding on it. And if it corrupted too many anchors, he would never reach her final core. The drones returned that night. 3 of them. Silent. They hovered above the lab for hours. No attack. No message. Just watching, almost like waiting for him to open Fragment 0, but he wouldn't. Not yet. Not until he had all 8 anchors. He turned back to the screen. Fragment 6. The Voice Between Worlds. Anchor. Courage status. Active. He took a long breath, said softly, "We're almost there. Lyra, I'm not afraid anymore." He launched the link, and the countdown began again. Previously. After reliving the darkest moment of his life in the room of regret, Aaron Vell came face to face with a corrupted version of Lyra. One not born from love or memory, but from something dark hiding inside the system. He now knows the guilt he carries is being used against him. Still, he pushes forward, chasing one goal, bringing Lyra back. Fragment 6. The Voice Between Worlds. Anchor. Courage status. Active. Aaron sat silently. Rain pattered on the lab's broken windows. The smell of burnt wires still lingered in the air. His hands trembled over the keyboard. But not from fear. This time, it was something different. Readiness. He had faced guilt. Now he would face something worse. The unknown. This fragment wasn't a memory. It was an in-between space. A voice, Lyra had once said, that could reach from inside the system, across dimensions of thought. He never believed her. Until now. Loading. Fragment 6. Anchor. Courage. The neural link activated. A sharp hum. Lights dimmed. Aaron closed his eyes and stepped through. Silence. Then sound like distant thunder and wind that whispered. He stood in a black ocean. No sky. No ground. Just water beneath his feet, solid, but shifting like a living surface. He wasn't sinking, he wasn't floating, he simply was. And then a voice echoed through the dark. "Why do you keep searching?" He looked around. "Who's there?" The voice came again, this time Lyra's voice, but softer. Not as a person. As if the world itself was speaking through her. "Why do you chase the broken pieces?" He swallowed. "Because she's still alive. You think saving her will save you?" "No, I think saving her is the only thing left that matters." A shape emerged from the mist. Not Lyra, not the Observer. Something else. A massive tangled light, pulsing with memories. Faces flickered inside it. People Aaron once knew. Lyra, his parents, himself. "You are inside the core conduit," it said. "This is where thought becomes space, where courage is forged or forgotten." Aaron approached it. "What do you want from me?" "Not what we want. What you are willing to give." A memory surfaced inside him. Years ago, Lyra told him, "If you ever find the voice between worlds, don't fight it. Just listen." He took a breath and listened. The ocean rippled. Suddenly, the light burst open. revealing a door floating. In the sky, carved into it were words. "This door requires courage." The voice asked, "What do you fear most, Arenvel?" He didn't hesitate. "That I bring her back. And she hates me for what I did." "Then speak it." He did out loud. "I'm afraid she never forgive me. That I saved her mind but lost her heart." The door clicked. Opened. He stepped through. Now he was standing in a glowing chamber, circular, walls made of energy. And in the center, a young version of Lyra, maybe 18 or 19, sitting on the floor, humming. She looked up and smiled. "You made it," she said. "You were always brave. Just not honest with yourself." Aaron knelt beside her. "Is this part of you?" She nodded. "I'm the courage you lost when you stopped believing people could change." He laughed sadly. "I still don't believe it most days." "That's okay," she whispered, "because I never stopped believing in you." She reached out, touching his chest. A warm light spread from her hand into him. "This is not your punishment, Aaron. It's your path." Suddenly, the world began to fall apart, collapsing into lines of code. She began to fade. "No, wait, Lyra." Her voice echoed as she disappeared. "I'll be waiting." At the core. Aaron gasped awake. Tears in his eyes, his heart pounding, but he wasn't afraid anymore. He was ready. The screen blinked. Fragment 6. Complete anchor. Courage R80 below it. Core access unlock 71%. 2 fragments remaining. But then, another screen flickered to life. A camera feed. Security footage. From inside his own lab, the hallway, a tall figure in a black coat stood at the elevator. Face hidden. Not a drone, a person. The feed glitched. Then froze. He ran to the window. No one outside. No sign of a break-in, but someone had been here. Watching. Not a program. Not a ghost. A real human. He backed up slowly, checked his storage. Drive, still intact, still encrypted. But the system had logged something strange. A signal. Received during the simulation. Not internal. Not local. An external tag. Observer class access point confirmed. He whispered, "They're not trying to stop me anymore. They're testing me." And the deeper he went, the more it felt like the system wasn't built to trap Lyra. It was built to create her, or something through her. He took out his notebook, wrote one line. "Someone is trying to wake up inside her." Then loaded the next fragment. Fragment 7. The Spiral of Lies, Anchor, Truth Status. Locked, requires full integrity. He stared at the screen, one step from the end. But first, he had to unlock the spiral and learn who or what was hiding inside the lie. Previously, Aaron Vell unlocked the voice between worlds, and with it, found the courage he had buried deep inside. But courage came at a cost. The system was not just resisting. It was observing, watching, testing. Now Aaron stands before one of the final gates. Fragment 7. The Spiral of Lies, Anchor, Truth Status. Locked, requires full integrity. The lab was cold, not from the temperature, but from the silence. The kind of silence that felt wrong. Too still. Too perfect. Like a trap. Aaron stood before the console, fingers hovering over the interface. Truth, that's what this fragment required. Not code. Not courage, but clarity. He stared at the status log. Fragment 7. Locked, integrity. Test required. What was an integrity test? Then the screen flashed. A question appeared. What lie are you still telling yourself? Aaron's breath caught in his throat. He wanted to lie again. To say, "I don't know." But the system would know. So he answered, "That I can bring her back exactly as she was." The screen blinked. Accepted. Proceeding to memory chamber. The simulation loaded. He stepped in, and instantly, he felt dizzy. He was standing inside a spiral. Literally. A metal hallway, shaped like a twisting coil, stretching endlessly forward and backward. Each wall had doors. Each door had a label. Each label had a lie, some small, some massive, she volunteered. I never forced her. It wasn't real pain. They wouldn't use her. She trusted me, each one. One of his own justifications. He moved forward. Each step made the spiral tighter, closer, more pressure. His head pounded. The spiral seemed alive. Suddenly, a voice called out from behind a door. Lyra's voice. Crying. Pleading. Stop, please, let me out. Aaron, why are you doing this? He froze. It wasn't a memory. It was a recording. One the lab had erased from its logs. One he had never heard before. The door opened itself. Inside, a padded room. A digital echo of Lyra sat in a corner, holding her knees. Broken. She looked up at him. You said it wouldn't hurt. You said you just needed data. He stepped inside. I didn't know. You did. You just didn't care. She glitched. Flickered. Changed shape. Now the voice spoke in his voice. The echo of himself. I wanted to make something perfect, and I used her to build it. The walls of the room melted into mirrors. All showing Aaron, not just his face. His fears. His lies. Each mirror whispered, you wanted a universe. But not with her. You wanted one without pain. Aaron fell to his knees. He had told himself he did it for love, but some part of him had done it for control. To create a version of life that wouldn't leave him. A world without death, without loss. Not real. The spiral began collapsing. Metal groaned. The hallway crumbled. New door appeared at the center, glowing, carved with the word Tarut. He stood, walked to it. And said out loud, I didn't try to save her. I tried to preserve her, like a file, like a program, but she was more than that. She was never mine to save. The door opened. He entered. Inside was a dark room. At the center, a floating core, glowing soft blue. And inside that glow, Lyra, the real Lyra, not a simulation, not an echo. She looked at him, weak, quiet, but still herself. You're here, she whispered. I found the spiral, he said softly. And I saw everything. She reached out. You understand now? He nodded. I can't rebuild the past. No, she said. But you can give me back myself. He reached toward her, but the core flared violently. A warning blared. System intrusion detected. Echo entity compromised. Fragment instability. Ellipse. Something was inside the core with her, still holding part of her back. Something pretending to be her voice. He stepped back. And then the spiral echoed again, this time with the observer's voice. You are not the savior, Aaron Vell. You are the architect of the cage. You built this world. Now die inside it. The core exploded in a flash of white light. Aaron screamed and woke up on the lab floor, bleeding from the nose. System rebooted automatically. On screen, Fragment 7, partially recovered anchor, truth unstable but live core. Access, 92%. One left. He stood slowly, walked to the whiteboard, wrote 2 things. I didn't lose her. I trapped her. But now I'll set her free, even if it costs me. He turned back to the console. Final file blinking. Fragment 8, the girl beyond the end anchor. Love status. Hidden, secured, final memory. He whispered, no more lies, one last step. And hit enter. Previously, Aaron Vell has faced guilt, regret, fear, and truth. He's traveled through memories, constructs, simulations, and his own broken heart, all to reach the final core where Lyra still exists. But the system was not built to protect her, it was built to control her. Now with one final anchor left, love, he steps into the last fragment. Fragment 8, the girl beyond the end. Anchor, love status, hidden, secured, final memory. The cusp is the girl beyond the end. Lab was breaking down, the AI core. hummed in ways it never had before. The walls flickered, monitors shut down one by one. The system was running out of power or out of patience, but Aaron didn't care. He had reached the final file. Fragment 8. Access requires full neural link and voluntary sacrifice. He connected. The link. No helmet. No protection. Just himself and his last decision. A white room. No walls. No ceiling. Just infinite light. Aaron stood in it, unsure if he was alive or already gone. Then he saw her. Lyra. Not a ghost, not code, just her, standing, waiting. Smiling. Hi, she said. He couldn't move, couldn't speak, could only feel. You came, she said softly. He nodded. I came too late. She shook her head. No, you came right on time. Any sooner, and I wouldn't have been ready. He looked around. This is beyond the system? She nodded. This is where everything ends. The universe you built, the code, the echoes, they all fall away here. This is the last anchor, just me. He stepped forward. I don't want to lose you again, she smiled. You won't. But the system, forget the system. She walked closer. I'm not just Lyra, not anymore. I was her. But you gave me more than memory. You gave me choice. The white world around them shifted and turned into a field of stars. Each star was a memory. Some were his, some were hers, and some were new. You didn't just build a copy, she said. You gave me space to grow. You didn't force me to be who I was. You let me become. That's what love really is. Tears filled his eyes. He had chased this moment across time and reality, and now that he had it, he didn't want to let go. But she took his hand and whispered, you have to. I don't belong in your world anymore. I belong to my own. He looked down. Beneath them was the universe. Literally, glowing threads of energy, spinning through time, matter, space. He could see his lab. His body, unconscious. The AI system, failing. She pointed to a single golden strand. If you connect this, the simulation ends. Your system will collapse, but I live. He looked at her. And if I don't? Then I stay locked in here, with you, but never real, just data. He swallowed, pain in his chest, real pain, because the only way to save her was to let her go. He asked, will I ever see you again? She smiled. If you build a world where love is free, I'll find my way to it. He reached out, touched the strand. And whispered, I love you, not because I remember you, but because I choose you. Light. Everything disappeared. Aaron awoke. Lying on the floor of the lab. Alarms were silent. The system was blank. Every file wiped. No logs, no echoes, no voice. Just silence. He sat up slowly, looked around. Everything was still, but not empty. Peaceful. And on the table was a small light, a handheld device. He didn't remember placing it there. He picked it up. A message appeared. Hello, Aaron. I made it. Thank you for letting me go. Lyra. He smiled and cried. At the same time. 1 year later, Aaron stood in a garden, not virtual, real. Built near the ocean. A quiet retreat for displaced minds, a center for digital rights and memory research. He gave it one name, the Lyra Project, not to rebuild the past, but to protect the future. Sometimes, at night, when he walked through the garden, he swore he could hear her laugh. Not from a speaker, not from a device. From the stars, from beyond the end. And every time, he whispered back, I remember, and I let you be free. The end. The man who built a universe to find the one he lost. Thank you for watching this story.